Hello, I'm Gordon from Creeping Toad, and I'm your artist for this session. Here in Buxton, we'd been hoping to have a lantern-lit walk through the woods in February 2021. But we know that's not going to happen now. So we at Stone and Water thought it would be nice if we could get people to bring the woodlands into their houses and have some winter woodlands and windows throughout the town. We can't meet and wander through the woods, but individually we can go for a walk of an evening and hopefully see some woodlands shining out of people's windows. If you live in Buxton or the High Peak or the Staffordshire Moorlands, we've got some kits with the materials we're going to use just now that you could have. Get in touch with us. There's an email appearing now and a Facebook link. If you get in touch with us, we'll get that stuff to you somehow. Everywhere else, just have a rummage. You can find most of the things at home. In this session, we're going to make a little lantern out of an old plastic bottle. In the next session, or the other session, depending which way you look at these, we'll show you how to make your own winter woodland trees. Let's get started. Right, let's get started. First thing, cover your tabletop with a bit of plastic. That does become more important in the making in just a minute or two. It's not just to be neat and tidy. Then, take your plastic bottle and a pair of strong scissors. If it's got a label on it, cut it off. There we go. I've taken the top off this, which lets me squash it flat, and with my scissors, cut more easily right across. Keep that bit for something else. There we go. That's going to be my bottle lantern. Now, in your kit, you'll have a sheet of white, extra strong tissue paper. And while everything's still dry, if your bottle wasn't dry, dry it. Just measure round. So I think I want about half of one of these. Cut a strip of tissue. We're going to need two bits about the same size. It doesn't matter if they're not quite the same size. Don't throw out the rest of the tissue, keep it for another bottle. This is called wet strength tissue paper. It's very strong. It can get wet without falling apart. Now, one of these is a lining, one of these will be the picture that decorates our lantern. For that, you could draw on it with Sharpies or similar waterproof pens. It has to be said that that pen doesn't work very well. That even these pens, which are brilliant, sometimes bleed all over the tissue, and until you start drawing it's very hard to know what's going to work and what isn't. So I've just done some leaves on that. That'll do. Other things I could use would be some coloured tissue paper. You might cut shapes out. You might just tear a few little bits that are going to go on as decorations. Look around the house. Anything that will let a little bit of light through could work. So here I've got some wrapping paper. I have no idea why I am putting a penguin on my tree, but I am. So there we go. That's going to go on there as well. I've also got some grass and some little leaves here. They'll all work as well. Feathers are good. Petals, anything like that. Just about there. I've decided what my decoration is going to be. I'm going to just gently tip them over there, put that there, And then the messy bit begins. I've got a little bit of PVA glue in here. I'm going to put a bit of water, about the same amount of glue as water. Then turn around and find I've lost my paintbrush. I've lost my paintbrush. I've got a little tub of PVA glue and water. I'm just going to give that a nice mix. Then with a paintbrush, brush this onto the blue plastic. Here we go. You can always invent your own little gluing song as you do this, the sort of tum-ti-tum-ti-tum. There we go. Then, without all the decorating bits, very gently put that on. And then paint that down. Effectively, we're making glue and tissue paper sandwiches. So this is nice and wet, so glue underneath, glue on top. Then put your decorations back on. If they have a right side and a reverse side, put them with the right side down. Like that. And then this is going to have some very carefully thought through bits of tissue paper. Like that. It might have some of my bits of grass. It might have more tissue. Perhaps some of those real leaves could go in here as well. Just dropped on. Let's add a bit more. When you've got the pattern you want, put the other bit of tissue paper on top. Very gently smooth it down. More glue. Little gluing song comes back in. It's quite good if this time it's quite wet, because now put those to one side, find our bottle again. If I sit my bottle down here, very gently lift up both sides of tissue, wipe it on and very gently roll it round and stand it up. If the top's a bit uneven, let it dry and then you can trim it. If I just turn that one like that, it looks like that. Let it stand on the paper while it dries. When it's finished, if you're one of our people, in your kit there will be a little light and that can go inside. They're good for the electric night lights. They are not good for flaming ones, ones with a proper wick and candle flame, because it is all just plastic and paper and you really don't want a burning lantern in your window ledge on your woodland night. But that's it. How to make a little plastic bottle lantern. Thank you.